Welcome to MetaGame, the gaming and media podcast from Spawn Camp Council, the think tank that takes content to the highest tier of excellence. Tonight, we're giving you the hottest information on the latest game, so boot up, log in, and enjoy the show. This week, Uncharted gets the Hollywood treatment. You're an RPG, Harry. Marvel makes MMO mobile multiplayer model, and an in-depth discussion on the most socially influential Fortnite dance moves. But we aren't talking about any of that crap tonight. Tonight, I'm your host, Adam 212, with our co-hosts, KingDawes, OldDirtyRobot, and our favorite princess in other castles, SolidScorpionZ.
Hello. True.
Yo.
Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing well.
Not sick.
There you go.
Yep.
That's all you can hope
That's
for
always
these
a
days.
plus.
All you can hope for these days.
You don't want to get quarantined.
No. That's a lot of podcasting. SolidScorpionZ, what do you got for us tonight?
Man, I got a game that I've been waiting like 2 years. So I'm going to talk about some Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
You say
Boy.
wisps?
Wisps.
Oh.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps. So Will of the Wisps, it's Metroidvania, side-scrolling platformer. It picks up pretty much immediately after the events of Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't know about you guys, but I thought Ori and the Blind Forest was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I have almost no criticism, like bad criticism over it, negative. This one is a little different. So in Blind Forest, you pretty much only had your little... it's weird because it's like a wisp, I guess, that you use to attack enemies. You just kind of mash the button and it kind of auto attacks for you. In the new one, you get different weapons. So you get like a sword, a hammer, a bow and arrow. There's a bunch of different weapons from what I can see. I'm only a couple hours into it so far. I haven't had a lot of time this week to play. But so far, I mean, it's already, they start you out pretty aggressively with getting upgrades that you kind of had towards the end game of the first one.
Yeah.
So like you get double jump right away, you can buy triple jump right away. There's and they really get you going into the platforming immediately. They definitely don't hold back. And the first boss battle, I died like 3 times trying to beat it.
Wow.
And so it was, and this is on normal. There's 3 difficulties. I'm just playing through on normal right now.
That's big of you to admit. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of like it's one of those, if you don't perform it perfectly, you will die.
Okay.
Kind of boss battle.
What was that little like pixel game that you played that was like so incredibly hard? You were a wizard with the wand.
Oh, Noita.
Oh God, that was one that if you're not perfect in that, you're dead.
Yeah, and you have to get really lucky with that game with the rolls you get on wands and everything else. I still haven't beat that one. I think it's very difficult. But so now Ori, from what I hear, is around 14 to 20 hours, depending on how much you explore. I noticed immediately that it does kind of hold your hand already.
Okay.
On telling you where to go. Most Metroidvanias are, it kind of gives you a clue, like, hey, go to this area, and then that's it. That's all they tell you, the very first spot to go. This one, it kind of tells you, like, hey, I want you to go to this part of find this part of the map, or find this part of the map. So that, to me, is a little hand-holdy, but for some other people, it might be nice. But exploration feels great. Just things are hidden behind other things. Monsters are all great. So gameplay-wise, so far, Ori's great. My main gripe with the game, and this is the only gripe I'll probably have for the rest of the game, is that it chugs on the Xbox One pretty heavy-handedly.
What do you mean? Chugs? What is chug?
Frame stutters.
Oh, okay.
It's real bad, on opening sequence. It's like the main menu itself. You can tell the Xbox is struggling.
Okay.
And my Xbox, I have a launch, and this might make a difference. I have a launch Xbox One, and it did sound like a jet airplane trying to take off almost immediately. Wow. Yeah. So that wasn't great, but and then so there's so many colors and so many effects going on during the game that when you're attacking enemies, there's these particles flying off and everything, and you can definitely tell the frame rate starts to drop like a lot. So it's probably my one gripe. I played it first on Xbox One, and I tried it out on my PC. Now we all know my PC is a potato. It's run by like half a hamster on like a triangle wheel, and it's a CPU wise, I can definitely tell my computer struggles to just kind of keep up, but it does it okay. Graphics wise, it's totally fine. It looks a lot better than the Xbox version does, obviously. From what I hear, you can push this up to 4K and it will look great.
Okay.
So let's performance issues. There's a few. I'd love for one of you guys with a beefy machine to fire this game up on PC. I mean, it is free in Game Pass, so definitely check it out. But I'd like to hear from one of you guys maybe sometime, just to see how it performs and see if it's still doing that.
Give it a shot this weekend and see what it does.
Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead.
The thing I've always liked about the Ori games is you don't have cheap deaths. I mean, if you die, it's you didn't perform the maneuver correctly, or you didn't do what the game was asking you to do. But they're really the bosses aren't cheap. They're just really it's a fair game, and that's can't be said for a lot of platformers or Metroidvanias. There are a lot of games out there that it's less about precision, and sometimes the game, like, you're just going to get your ass whooped, and it's frustrating as a player when you play a game like that. And I'm not great at them when deaths are cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I totally agree. In the game that I talked about last podcast, Mind Seas, there's a lot of bosses in that where you just are like, the fuck just killed me? Like, how did he kill me there? And it feels like Mind Seas feels very Metroidvania meets Mega Man, whereas Ori feels very Metroidvania meets Mario, I guess, more or less, just because of how it's not. I wouldn't say it's easy, for me it is easy, but it's definitely not difficult. Like, the platforming and everything is not difficult. The boss, like I said, that first boss you fight, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like just brutally difficult to beat him right away. It felt very Dark Souls-y. But that, and you don't even, like, spoiler, you don't even kill the first boss. You just kind of like push him back a little bit and kind of set him on fire, and then he like runs away. But
classic first boss.
Yeah, exactly. Very classic first boss. But it felt very like, I was like, well, I can't like roll out of the way. I just have to like hope I run fast enough to move, and I have to get so close. And if I'm that close, I can't get away from his attack, no matter what. So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see as it goes on. From what I hear on IGN, that the game is also, they thought it was like, one of the guys usually plays a lot of the Ori games. He said he felt it was very simple as well. So there's like in the first game, I didn't find any of the puzzles difficult at all. This one is, like I said, it's not difficult. It's just, you just gotta do it, I guess. I don't know. But overall, so far, I'm really enjoying it.
They're beautiful games.
They're all beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the thing it's got going for it. It's easily one.
I mean, if you thought the first Ori game was beautiful, take that and just crank it up to like 100. It's so good looking. Yeah. It's so good looking. The pinks, the purples, the blues, the whites. I mean, it's just. I mean, like, I just got into this area where it's a swamp and it's like poison water, right? The water is like radiating this like mystical pink energy off of it, and it just like glows. It looks very Avatar-ish, like at night. So it's real cool. So I don't want to really talk about it, but I do want to mention World of Horror is another indie game that is out right now. It is a roguelike, eldritch Japanese horror like combination. I told Adam about it, and so we got it. And it's fantastic. Please check it. At least just check it out on Steam. Just look at it. It's fucking
Game
awesome.
Pass. You can get it as well.
I didn't see it on Game Pass.
No,
on Xbox. Yeah, I don't know if it's like. maybe it's planning on coming to Game Pass,
Okay,
but
maybe
I
this
didn't
month.
see it on. Yeah, maybe it's like planning on coming to Game Pass,
Okay.
because it is an early access still.
Yeah.
But it's only what, like $15-$20?
Yeah, I think it's like $18.99 or something like that.
Yeah. Oh god, it's so much fun. I'm planning on doing next weekend, hopefully, a viewer chooses choices, couple runs on it. So
chooses choices.
There you go.
yeah, there's like you got your normal stuff you're going through, like, oh, I have to continue to investigate this one area, but then you get into a spot where it's like you got 3 different choices along the bottom. And depending on which one you choose, a bad thing or a good thing can happen to you, or sometimes it's just always bad or it's always good.
Life Simulator 3000.
Yes. But I wanted to try and get some like viewer interaction with it. I think it'd be kind of fun to try and beat a run with the viewers helping. So
Can we hurt as well as help?
I'm probably gonna get fucked more than I am getting help. So
Excellent. All right.
So is the roguelike aspect of it, is it just like we have 100 different scenes and we just put them in different order with those questions, or are the questions different?
So it's basically the scenes are mixed up, but there's so many different scenarios, and they're constantly, like I've noticed in the updates, they're constantly adding more scenarios every update. So like it tells you if you've already gotten a scenario, you can see you know how to beat it, you know what happens after the end of it.
Okay.
But there's so many of those scenarios, and those scenarios are very specific to each like investigation, as they would call them. Those are kind of like the horror stories, in which they've already said that they're committed to adding a ton more investigations, a ton more gods, which there's like 30 of them right now, and I've only seen like 4. And I've played a bunch of times, so definitely check it out.
World of Horror available on Game Pass, PC. Doesn't look like it's available for console. It's in preview.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Wait, so it's only available on the Xbox Game Pass for PC.
Oh.
Yeah. If is that a first?
There aren't a lot like that.
Did you just
honestly.
put a spell on me? That's
Well, like Yakuza 0 is. It looks like there's a few games like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That are PC only.
Awesome.
there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah,
like the
I
push.
implore you to please download it if you have Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
Very fun game. But
Push
yeah,
efforts.
well, we also, I know a few of us here have talked about it a little bit. I know Robot is a great big proponent for game streaming services.
I love them.
I would like to talk a little bit about the GeForce Now, NVIDIA's GeForce Now that came out. Yeah, so the way that I found out about this, I'm not sure if you guys maybe had posted it on Discord or something, but I found out about this from my coworker, who is not a PC guy at all. He pretty much plays PlayStation 4, and he owns an Apple, and that's about it. He was
like a
telling
target
me,
audience.
Yeah, I know. He said he saw it, he downloaded it, and he was playing Fortnite on his computer, which I don't know why he was playing Fortnite when you could just download it. But he said he was playing it, and it was seamless, and it felt great. So I said, there's no fucking way that this is happening. All the game streaming services so far have been garbage, except for like xCloud has been pretty good. And even on mobile. So I said, fuck it, let's download it. So I downloaded it at work on my mobile device and was playing Temtem within seconds. God damn, it fucking works. I couldn't believe it. And I was on shitty work Wi-Fi. And I had 0 issues with anything.
That's
It was
awesome.
great. I don't know about you, Robot. I'm sure you've tried it out.
I have not tried it out yet. I think that's an indictment of Stadia, honestly, more than anything. Because it looks like everybody can kind of make this work except Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't understand, because they have some of the world's greatest infrastructure, which it's beyond me.
I picked it up, but I haven't had time to do it with the because they don't support the iPhone yet. I signed up for the licensing that you have to apply for, so I applied for that. But it's going to be months before that comes back. And
so
but
like
get
so
it
far
downloaded, so we'll see. Yeah.
Oh, good. So far they have it available for trade.
Android?
Not iOS. It's like Android, Windows, and whatever the fuck, Mac OS. I think that's what it's called. Because you can play it on.
How about Windows Phone? Can you get it for Windows Phone?
Nothing supports Windows Phone.
Dead
I
Rising
wonder
3.
though.
Dead
Yeah,
Rising
I
still,
wonder
3
though.
still supports Windows Phone.
I wonder if you could play it on a Surface tablet, which I would assume you can, because
I think so, yeah.
it's I think essentially the same OS as desktop.
Yeah, you should be able to. There's two architectures for Surface laptops.
Okay.
There's like traditional PC and then more like mobile-based hardware. But yeah, it seems like you'd be able to.
I would imagine, yeah. So when I got home that day, tried it out on my phone, on my home Wi-Fi, which is very good. And I was like, all right, let's see how a live service game plays. Now let's like Temtem is sort of live service. It's technically a live service, but it was playing fine. But it's not like high fidelity live service like Destiny. It's very reaction based. Yeah. And it was seamless. I didn't have any issues at all. There's no lag. Like the input lag was so minimal that it didn't make me sick. It wasn't like, oh, I'm so frustrated that I'm pushing the fire button and it's not firing. Like whenever I play games, I do the thing where you like move around a whole bunch to see how reactive it is, and it was fine. The only issue was tower. That was it. But
okay.
That's
Temtem. But okay, that's my question. Is you played Temtem, which is very much a turn-based game, so you're not going to have a lot of movement on screen, but you get to try anything where you have movement, like a third-person or first-person game.
Yeah. Destiny. Yeah.
Oh,
Destiny.
Tried. Okay.
Yeah, Destiny as a live service game. Yeah, it was.
The only issue was in the tower. That was it.
Yeah, the tower was a little input laggy, but not like, I don't know, not really that bad. Like it was very doable. It wasn't like, oh my god, I'm pushing forward and he's moving like at a mile per hour. I'm gonna have to like crawl. It's faster than crawling, The crawl in the beginning of Destiny 2 was faster, but no, it felt fine. Like you
could run bounties, go get something from a vendor. For me, that's like the key stuff.
So
that's what I want.
That would be what I would be interested in.
Yeah,
I did a sundial. I did an entire sundial.
Holy crap.
with the boss and everything. First time I ever seen this boss, it was like that Scion Flare boss. Totally fine. I was hitting headshots. I was placing grenades well. I was doing jump mechanics to try and make sure I was able to jump everywhere. Like it was great. It was insane. And again, this is on a home Wi-Fi. Yeah. I have yet to try Destiny on mobile, which I would imagine it's probably terrible. But
boy,
yeah,
can you imagine?
But as like something like this, I mean, if you're at a hotel and you have your Xbox controller, so with the GeForce Now, unlike with the Xbox xCloud streaming, where xCloud you have to have a controller to play, but GeForce Now will put buttons on your phone for you.
Oh wow!
So it'll have touch screen, but it'll have touch buttons, so you can technically play. So I was at first playing Destiny with the touch buttons. So like I would be running, and I'd be like, like you're running, and I was like, oh, tap to shoot, and then look, and then look,
oh my god,
and tap to shoot. Like it was stupid, but it was working.
Yeah. I'm calling it now. Flawless card on a phone.
Oh god! Oh god! I would love to see it.
Someone's
gonna do it. Someone's gonna do it.
That'd be awesome. Well, I mean, I'm surprised they have Destiny on there because I thought Activision pulled all their games. Oh wait,
Activision.
Oh
yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing that I don't understand. I know this morning. I don't quite understand why it's such an issue to have a game that I have paid for the license to play. Why I can't just play that on here, and they pull the games out, and I don't understand how they're like not getting their cut when I've already paid them money.
They want another cut.
It's all about those biddies.
So the GeForce is getting another cut. Why can't they get another cut?
That's where it happens.
Their launcher,
I honestly think if GeForce was just giving this service away, which they do have a free tier, let's be clear.
Well, it is free right now.
As soon as they started to charge, that's when those other companies said, "Wait a minute," because you don't own your game.
You can charge money
It's
for
not
this?
EULA at the beginning that you paid to use their game or service or product, but you don't actually own that game. So
Right.
they got their cut from you, but now they want their cut from NVIDIA, and they have a right to do it. I think it looks bad, honestly, but
I think it looks terrible on there.
the optics aren't great. But
Yeah. I mean, well, like, so you can sign up for it's a free 90-day trial. So I won't even have to pay. It's $5 a month after that for, like, I'm locked in for the first year or whatever. I have no idea how much it's going to be after that. I would assume $10, $15 a month, I'm guessing, for this type of service.
So
I'm guessing the $5 introductory price. I couldn't find anything on how much it was after the introductory price.
Right.
one thing I'll give NVIDIA is Google doesn't really have a hook, if you will, to have a service and then sell games on top of that.
Yeah.
And I think xCloud has the best model, but the thing that I think NVIDIA can lean on is ray tracing. They at least have something that they can say, if you use our service, this is what you get for it. It's not just straight streaming it or anything, or we're going to sell you $70 games. There's at least something there to justify the price for charging for a service.
Yeah. Right. And that was something I haven't been able to try it all because I don't own any games I don't think that can have ray tracing on. But you can apparently play games with RTX on.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I don't know if I own any that are RTX available. But man, that's super cool. If it can work to be able to play a game with RTX on a mobile device, like, that'd be so sick.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But
I think RTX is a better selling point than 4K 60
I think
for that service, what you can actually deliver.
Yeah,
I don't think any of them can realistically deliver 4K 60.
Like, I would never pay for something to try and get 4K over like a streaming service. I just think it's.
Well, you've seen the ray tracing in Minecraft, right? I mean, that's the perfect example of something like that. How that would work.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. Yeah, I've been trying to find that patch or update just to take a look at it, but I haven't really found. I know that's advertised and has been in YouTube's and YouTube videos, but.
Yeah, I think
as far as
a mod.
availability, I'm not sure if it's available yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it might be a mod or something that you have to try and like download and finagle in there with the Java version of it. So.
I see.
But yeah, I'd love it if everyone just tried it out, I guess, and we'll see where we get. So, like I said, I was on home Wi-Fi. And I've tried a few games on just regular. Mobile and like mobile data connection, and it was totally fine. But those are like turn-based games like Slay the Spire, right? Temtem, stuff like that.
Let's see how they do. I mean, with all these game companies, the developers pulling out of it, I don't know if how many will, eventually, and then just having your entire Steam library or most of your Steam library there is a huge selling point for me. So I don't care that Activision's pulled out or EA. Really doesn't bother me at all. So the games I want to play on there are things like Divinity.
Yes, exactly.
Stuff like
those are the types of games that I think would work the best for, especially for the mobile.
Yeah.
Just like some turn-based stuff, but shit, try it out. Give it a look.
Cool. What else you got for us tonight?
I mean, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Well, nothing gets us more excited in the Spawn Camp Council office, that's Discord, guys, than the stench of failure that only a AAA developer can make. This Week in Failure, our new segment, presents Ubisoft Ghost Recon Breakpoint. You guys heard what is going on with this game?
I just know that it's...
Please enlighten me.
So, terrible release, right? All kinds of bugs, tons of bugs, and now they're doing a patch and they're going to like make it better for everybody, sort of in the way that
bugs in an Ubisoft game. What? It's like next you're going to say Bethesda has bugs in their games.
Yeah,
I know.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So Fallout 76 is doing it now, right? So we got a brand new patch for them that they're coming out with. It's going to reinvent the game. You're going to love it, just like Anthem's doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get it right the first time, but here you go again.
Here's what I will say is Ubisoft has a track record of fixing games.
Okay.
And all these other groups that we're talking about don't have a track record of actually fixing games. Ubisoft has launched bad games before and then come back, and I get it. It's bad, and I think it's gonna be hard for them to recover from it, but they're one of the only developers that you consistently see.
Well, good. That leads into my next question for you guys, which is name a game that did it.
That came back from the dead?
Yeah.
Destiny repeatedly.
Destiny every day.
Destiny on a weekly schedule. Currently in its death state right now, but it'll come back.
Just look at Diablo 3. Right. Terrible launch. They revamped it, and it was 100% better. Final Fantasy 14, the online one.
Yep.
Totally botched at launch. Basically redid the entire game, started over from scratch, and now it's the best, the most played MMO on the market right now.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky.
That was mine. Yeah.
There you go. Just turn around.
That's it.
Those people just hunkered down. They didn't answer Twitter.
Mm-mm.
They just they went underground for a year and came back and completely fixed that game. With Ubisoft games, some of the Assassin's Creed Unity had a really bad start. They kind of came back and did some work on that. The first Division had really rough spots.
Yes.
Division 2 had some rough spots. And honestly, Ghost Recon, the first one, didn't launch all that well. It had a lot of bugs.
Wildlands was not good.
Yeah, and they ended up giving away some free DLC around the Predator.
The Predator
I think
one,
it was.
Yeah, that was
really good.
That was actually pretty cool DLC.
Yeah, cool. I like it. On to different things. We're bringing some D&D back into the mix here, guys.
Yes.
Let's see. So we got a bunch of cool stuff coming up. Let's see. We've got on March 17th. That's just a few days away. When would that be? Tuesday of next week, I believe.
Yeah. Something like that.
Tuesday of next week.
5 days from now.
Forgotten Realms Laurel Silverhand's Explorer's Kit. That's a standalone module that comes as a sort of a Waterdeep and Sword Coast adventure. Comes with this little dice, pretty blue dice. Has felt tray, maps, and cards with it. Standalone sort of deal. Looks like it's really well done. On that same day, that very same day, the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount releases.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So if you guys are fans of Critical Role, this is where you get to go explore the world of Exandria with the characters made by Matthew Mercer and crew. And, and it's probably a pretty good prep for the upcoming animated series. If you can just go in there, if you've never watched Critical Role, never listened to the podcast, you could go, or YouTube series, you could go to, go buy this expansion or module and go run your own games in the area. And then start listening to Critical Role and sort of expand that for you as you experience that for the first time. Pretty cool idea. I'm really excited.
Their YouTube series for that campaign, it's like 100 and change episodes, and it's very good. I mean, it's something that each episode's like an hour long on YouTube, so definitely it's more like a audio book, listen to your commute kind of deal. But it's very good. That's high level D&D. Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff too. I mean, and they're all good. They're voice actors already, so they do really well at in the presentation. Mythic Odysseys of Theros releases June 2nd. You can play as new races. This is straight from flavored text from D&D Beyond. Play as new races such as the Leonin, the Satyr. Explore new subclasses fit for heroes' tales, including the College of Eloquence, the Oath of Heroism. You can wield god weapons that set your character apart from common mortals. Embrace your supernatural gifts, which give characters an ability score increase. Right. Encounter mythic creatures whose power and renown make them fit to challenge the gods. So, gladiator time. Cool. Yeah.
CR 25 creatures.
Yeah, super epic. There's something coming out. I've just been listening to a few podcasts, Wizards of the Coast being one of them, where they are coming out with something from Tales from the Yawning Portal this year. Not a lot of information on it, but it's supposed to be a really big deal, expansion of that book. So, should be interesting to see that go down.
Very cool.
And it's back. D&D trivia, everyone.
So
Question tonight for you guys is, and this is an old one, and King, you probably already know this one, but we'll see.
I'll try.
So the original red box, D&D, first edition, first one that ever came out. How many classes were originally offered in the red box?
Ooh, yep. Do we get a multiple choice, or is it a?
I'll give you multiple choice. I mean, if you think you want to just take this one on the on the nose, then go for it. All right,
I think I'll just go for it. I think I can actually count them. Hold on. Just write these down real quick. All right. I think I got my answer.
Okay. Anybody else
I'd
with
be
choices?
guessing. I believe it's 6.
Okay. Robot, any idea?
Lucky 7.
Well, you have to wait till next week to find out.
I'm pretty sure it's 4 or 5.
Okay.
I don't think it's 6 because I'm pretty sure it was wizard, warrior, thief. Actually, it might only be 4. Wizard, warrior, thief, and
Barbarian.
Nope, barbarian was not in there yet. Wizard, warrior, thief.
Yeah, sorcerer wasn't in it yet.
Nope.
Bard wasn't in it yet.
I think it might have been druid. Oh, cleric. That's what it was. There's cleric. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm gonna go 4.
4. What's your answer? All right. So we got. What do we have here? We have a 4,
6, 7.
6, and 7. One of you is 100% correct.
Hey.
One of you.
Probably not me.
I know.
I know.
This is a very tough question. We'll talk about it next week, but a very, very tough one. But good job. Good job.
The cool thing about that edition was everything was very basic, and like that's why it's a narrowed down. What do we have classes now? Subclasses and
there's like 4 or 5 subclasses for each class.
Right. It's crazy. So it's cool to see like that old D&D is very, very cool.
Yeah, this is why I picked this one too, because it's just very interesting to me to just think back to simpler times.
Can you imagine just like you have 4 of your buddies there? Oh, what'd you pick? Oh, wizard. What about you? Oh, wizard.
Yeah.
What about you? Oh, fighter. Yeah. What about you? Also a wizard. It's like, oh, okay. Good group diversity.
But I want to be the wizard.
Yeah. We can't have all 4 wizards.
So, chat and people out there, what is your favorite resurrection game? Something that died and came back, or what's your favorite D&D trivia stuff? You can send it to us at spawncapcouncil@gmail.com, and we can give you a shout out in the podcast. Maybe read your stuff on air. All right, moving on. King, what you got for us tonight?
Oh boy, I'd like to actually kind of extend a hand out, maybe a tag team battle with Robot here. Because he and I are both experiencing this. I'd like to talk about the launch of the new season of Destiny, Season of Worthy. It's tough. Let me tell you right now. I was very excited, and I'm sure all of you were as well, for the new season of Destiny. It's always fun to have the new season. You get to see the new changes and all the subclasses and the weapons and exotics and new pinnacle weapons and new triumphs and new seals and all that great stuff. This season felt like the first Bungie only season to me, and I say that because of it's tough to say, but I say that because of the lack of new content as well as what feels like safe content to me. And what I mean by that is the new Rasputin event is basically the obelisks from last season, but underground. It's literally the same formula. Do your bounties, earn currency, upgrade bunkers, and move on to the next one. And it's tough. I mean, it's something where I expect more from a brand new season, and it's still brand new. It's like 3 days old. So we have to be 2 days old, excuse me. So we have to be a little optimistic, but it's put a sour taste in my mouth for the first day of launch.
I have to add that I know Robot's chomping at the bit to get into this, that I agree with you. And this is the worst I've ever felt about Destiny.
This feels like bad, like Curse of Osiris bad.
I don't know about that.
You don't want to go that bad?
And no, I honestly think I was more optimistic about Curse of Osiris.
It was more than
I didn't
Curse of
feel. I
Osiris.
felt bad about this in 15 minutes, and I know that that's not necessarily fair. But the moment it sunk into me, that, and Adam, you put it best. They literally just put the obelisk underground. My stomach sank.
Yeah.
And I've come full circle on this. Like I've had a few, I went into a depression the first day when it sunk in that like, oh shit, like this is it. I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do the grind and put stuff in an obelisk. I don't want to do that. And the activity isn't great. So, and I'll give them a chance. There's three of those EP type activities they have planned. I'm hoping that each one is different.
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt that, just based off past performance. Past performance, it's a pretty good prediction of future performance. They're all going to be the same, and
There'll be different
hopefully
enemies.
there's a little subtle difference in the boss. Anyway,
It feels like a mashup between EP and the Forges. That's
a tough one because I think EP is pretty good. It doesn't feel
well, it just EP is very good. I think for horde mode public event, EP is the pinnacle. This just is, it's tough. You throw the balls at the big balls, and there's enemies that you have to kill, and it's like we've done this, we get it. We've had little horde mode things with throwing stuff at targets. It's just not really captivating to me.
Here's where my head is at on this. So after that first day of just like, this is it. I thought about it over the night, and Trials is coming back, and we haven't had Trials yet.
Yep.
And that's a huge activity for PvP players. And I like PvP. I enjoy playing with you guys. I like it. I'm not great at it. I'm not gonna carry a team flawless or anything like that. So in a way, this season's not really for a player like me. But I'm happy for PvP players who this season is for.
Finally,
This does feel like a PvP season.
I know PvP's been shit on for a long time. It's been ignored. There have been seasons where there's been virtually no movement in PvP.
Right.
And I'm worried. I've been worried about Bungie for a long time. You could kind of see hints of this, kind of when the break from Activision happened. You could just, and then they set the tone for the seasons. Like, hey, they're not going to be great this year because we don't have High Moon Studios anymore.
Right.
We don't have the backup studios who actually made really good seasonal content or DLCs. So I'm happy for, like, we've got a friend that plays a lot of PvP. King, I know you're really looking forward to Trials. I'm happy for you guys. I hope you enjoy Trials. I'll get into it a little bit later, but I just don't have the appetite to grind up, especially for this first week. It's the first time in a long time that I don't want to play Destiny.
Yeah, and that's where and that's the biggest part of it too. To be relevant in Trials, you're going to have to grind your light level. And you're going to have to do it.
It is light level enabled.
This crap.
And it's artifact level enabled as well. We were trying to avoid that, but the game had gone to certification after all the backlash. So not only do you have to worry about light level grinding, but artifact level. So those people that, like myself, who sit in a lost sector and just repeat bounties over and over and over and over and over, their artifact is going to give them a plus whatever they grind to. I'm at a +8 right now in power. I'm sure there are people that are +16, double what I am, because I've only put about 10 hours into it. And so it's going to be tough. I mean, you're going to go in there and sweaty PvP lord, and the bounty goblin that's there that was grinding all week, and he's sitting at 1,030 light, and you're only at 980, you're going to have a real bad time.
Yeah.
And it's that doesn't tickle my fancy at all. I think skill in PvP should vastly surpass light level differences. I'm not a fan of light level enabled PvP. I think it's a real shame.
What about the gear?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the gear? We had a couple of chatters talking about over here that they really like the nostalgia of reskinning this
The
armor.
nostalgia is good. in the fact that for us D1 players that remember original Trials, it's all there. It brings back those warm, fuzzy feelings. The weapons are the same. The armor's the same. The roles are obviously different, just with the new perks. One thing I don't really like is that as you're playing through the week, you'll earn Trials tokens that you can spend at Saint for engrams. Mm-hmm. And if you don't spend those Trials tokens, they do not roll over. They disappear every reset.
Really?
So yeah, that was in the TWAB today.
I kind of like that though.
I don't.
They're solving a long-term problem with that. I see where they're going.
You absolutely should be able to. It's like Iron Banner. You can stack Iron Banner tokens. Why can't you stack Trials tokens?
Because Trials is endgame PvP. Iron Banner.
So is Iron Banner. Yeah, it is.
You could argue it is, but
it has been up until now when there's no Trials.
Yeah, right.
I would say Iron Banner is 100% not endgame PvP.
So think about Iron Banner, Crucible, Vanguard.
Level.
How many tokens do you have for those vendors?
1,000.
2,000, 3,000, 4,000?
Yeah. Oh yeah, tons.
I mean, one of our friends probably has 10,000 Crucible tokens. They're trying to solve that problem. So, we complained that, hey, I've got all these Crucible tokens because you haven't refreshed a vendor in 2 years. And that's really the bigger problem. So I think rather than refresh the vendor,
right,
hopefully they do this. They try to solve this problem by.
Do we think that they're going to be maybe like pinnacle level engrams?
I don't know about light level. I didn't see anything about the
I wouldn't think so.
Power level. It's going to be about the perks. And unfortunately, every legendary, no joke, every legendary weapon that came out with this DLC has not really great perks. The only one I'm really excited about is the Trial Shotgun, because it's kind of like a Mindbender's competitor now in the kinetic slot. It's an aggressive frame that can get quick draw, and we'll see how that one goes. Other than that, there is literally 0 weapons in either PvP or PvE, either the Seraph weapons or the Trials weapons, that can roll with a reload perk and a damage perk.
Yeah, see, that's
which is a key
that we know of.
That's
to be fair.
No. It's excuse me. The adepts haven't been brought out.
Right.
That we know of in the Light GG database for weapons, there are no damage reload perk combos, and that's what makes, especially for PvE, that's what makes guns feel great. Is that ramp up in damage. In PvP, it's not so much. You really look for more usability perks, quick draw, snapshot, opening shot, that kind of stuff, which those weapons do have. So that's not a necessarily bad thing. Like the Trial Sniper can get a great roll on it. But for PvE side, there's really no good rolls that you should be hunting for as of right now.
I really think, first, to kind of go back to the reskinning of Trials, the only way that they could do Trials right was to completely reboot it and put the old armor and old weapons in it. If they did it any other way, I think it would have been a disaster.
Look at Trials of the Nine.
Trials of the Nine, yeah. People really wanted they wanted that nostalgia around that game mode. The armor is arguably some of the best armor that has ever been in Destiny, period. And they brought it back, and I think what you'll see that Trials armor, like next season, will be the Season 2 Trials armor from Destiny 1.
That'd be great.
That was the right way to do it.
Cat cloaking coming down.
Here's my fundamental problem with this season is, and I know it's easy to be an armchair developer, but I kind of look back at this and think there are so many easy wins to add reasons to grind existing content.
Oh yeah,
in the game. So
just low-hanging fruit.
Strike specific weapons. A minor. You just put some more weapons in the perk pool for Crucible matches, so you have a reason to run Crucible matches. Right now, the perk pool for Crucible and for the strikes has been the same for 2 years. Yeah. Even things like Menagerie, and we talked about this the other night. You have a selection of weapons in Menagerie. Just refresh those weapons.
Yeah.
Just take from the existing pool, give people an opportunity to grind for what's already out there, so they can target grind. If you
That's
will.
what that's what
MVP.
gave that's what gave EP such a long life cycle, was the fact that, I have to wait till next week to get the shotgun because the boss is dropping the SMG this week, the sniper this week, or all three this week.
Yeah.
And that's what makes, those repeatable kind of look forward to moments are what's going to give a game like Destiny life span.
What about the lack of pinnacle weapons, the retiring of the current pinnacle weapons?
Oh, that was on my list.
Okay, go for it.
That I think is a very smart thing to do as well.
I do not think that's
if you look into any MMO game played, there is power creep, and you have to start capping specific weapons so that you can get into the next, the next season of weapons. Basically, it's the same thing with any card game, any game that involves a lot of collecting things. You have to put a cap on certain things and only allow them to be used during these no-holds-barred modes, like regular PvP, strikes, stuff like that. Yeah. Now for endgame stuff, so that they can build raids around newer weapons and, newer armor and, newer perks, so they don't have to constantly have the icebreaker or the Gallahorn problem that they had in D1. I think that's one of the smartest things that they could start to roll out, is putting a cap on those legendary weapons. And I don't think armor, but I think it's very smart of them.
With that being the case, though, do you think that, because the new weapons aren't new weapons. It's all reskinned old weapons. I guess you could call that new. Except
they
for
are
one,
new weapons, though.
Except for one,
they have new models. That's why I feel the non-inclusion of now ritual weapons. I think that's what sucks, because the weapons that are introduced now, while they have new models, they're still 600 round per minute autos. They're still 150 hand cannons. They're still, we've played with these guns. They just look different.
Now, what if they had completely newly designed weapons and armor? That would completely change the story, right?
Yeah, no, I think you're wrong and you're right at the same time. The ritual weapons give people a reason to grind that content. So you need a reason. You need to entice people to go to run strikes and go into a comp. They need to sunset weapons. They've talked about that. It was in Luke Smith's State of the Game that he delivered. They'll implement a system where weapons will only have a lifespan of 9 to 15 months. That solves the power creep problem. I think that's a great idea. Mm-hmm. I think that's what the game's been needing. I know a lot of people want to hang on to their recluse forever. I want new recluses. So I'm totally okay. I thought D1 did that right, where you only allowed weapons to go up to a certain light level. And if you wanted to run the raid, you had to use the new shit.
You can't hang on
the
to
raid around the new shit.
Yeah, you can't hang on to your grasp of the lock forever kind of deal.
Exactly. That's where I think that is very smart.
Well, they always had a problem with breaking the meta. They just nerf everything down to the ground and see what just pops back up, and kind of like they've done with auto rifles this time. And if you can do that and lock the weapons out, then you can start fresh anyway, right?
Right.
So your mind benders is no longer valid. Your spare rations doesn't exist anymore.
Right. Especially in trials, now that it's a light level enabled activity, if your spare gets locked at 960 as the highest it can go, and then the seasonal power level goes all the way to 1100, you're not going to be bringing 960 spare rations into trials.
Yeah, but here's the issue. Okay, so they might nerf it. They might nerf all these other weapons around, and then something rises out of the ashes. But what happens the next time they do a rise and a buff, or a nerf and a buff? Then those weapons that they're okay, we don't have to worry about these being in these raids anymore. We can build these encounters around these weapons that we're gonna bring back up to the forefront. Then they're oh wait, we forgot about that one weapon 5 years ago that we nerfed to the ground, and now that we brought this one specific thing back, it's gonna come in and just completely break our game. So now not having to worry about that kind of stuff because they have this light level cap on it. Yeah, I think it'll really help them in the long run.
Yeah, I think that could be one of the best things they introduce into the game is sunsetting weapons. I like seasonal metas, and we might be going on about this a little long, but to me, Destiny and games like Destiny are at their best when there are seasonal metas.
I agree with that.
They need to.
Yep.
They need enough balance passes or patches to create those seasonal metas. I want season of the auto rifles, season of the pulse, season of the hand cannon.
We're in season of the sword right now, baby. It's nice. Nobody believes me, but swords are so top tier in PvE. PvP, nah, they're not great. PvE swords are so top tier right now.
I hear you can one phase Riven with swords.
You could do that. Well, I mean, some people can. We can't. But yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I still need my Thorn. I want it back so bad.
Thorn's very good. Especially, you're going to see Thorn a lot tomorrow. I can promise you that.
Is anybody
I think
mad
it's
about
gonna
the emblem trackers? Anybody mad about that?
Oh, I tried to block that
Cares.
out. No, a lot of people care.
Yeah, I know they care, but
because-
those are also the people that think the coronavirus. So who gives a shit?
No, you take someone like Don, who has probably 600 gold medals in PvP. That was wiped off his emblem.
Yep.
And that's upsetting to me, just knowing him. That's a huge accomplishment, and that's wiped. And then you take like the dude that donated a million plus fractaline.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, that's super unfortunate that happened. I don't know if it is a rectifiable situation, but I feel for everyone that had cool stats because, I wouldn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, glory streaks.
Yeah, glory streaks.
Yeah, no good.
So-
What about the public event? Anybody like it?
No.
No,
To be honest with you,
not really.
it blows.
No.
Yeah, it pretty much blows.
I haven't even been able to play Destiny. I haven't been able to do shit this week, so I haven't even done anything.
Oh, I'll be on Destiny all the time, guys. Oh, I'll be great.
This is all new. I have been so busy this week. Oof.
Yeah.
Really quick, back to the emblems thing. I see where they're going. I played around in the system. I see the direction they want to go. Poorly communicated. I think this is what this really comes down to is just piss poor communication on the front end.
Yep.
I think they can fix it. That data's still there. It didn't go anywhere. They know how many gold medals our friend has. I think they can fix this. Just half-baked, poorly communicated.
Yeah.
Classic Bungie.
Do you think that they're going to change them up week to week?
No, it's maybe seasonal, but
the options you can display.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
And
multiple.
it varies on the
seasonal
emblem as
and-
well, what you can display.
Yep.
So it's interesting, but
Okay.
I'd like to see seasonally what it can change. But then again, it's okay. Now you do some super cool stuff this season that's tracked on your emblem. Does it get wiped again next season when the trackers change or what? But
There's a filter on it that can do current. I don't know if you could do last season, but you can do lifetime, year, season, and something else. There's 4 things that you can sort by. So I do think it's kind of cool that you could see your comp wins for the season.
yeah,
I also like the fact that I can apply a tracker to some of the emblems that didn't have trackers on them. I
that
think
is
that's
cool.
neat.
Yeah.
But the ones that I stopped at 69 intentionally, so that was on my
Oh, of
emblem.
course.
I'm kind of mad about
420
that.
and
Yeah, you're
420 and everything.
Escalation protocols.
Yeah. Well, that's like Cal with his solo Pit of Heresy. It now says 0 or it's gone or something. That's tough.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he could put how many lost sectors he's done on that, and that's super cool. On his flawless Pit of Heresy emblem. Oh, great.
That's funny. All right. So, out of 10, pre-trials Destiny robot, what do you got?
Out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, rank it?
Ranked. Yeah.
Oh, 2?
2. Solid.
No,
You haven't
for
done
real,
it,
it-
so
I haven't done shit. Yeah, I saw the opening cutscene and that was cool. That was about it.
When Trials comes out, it gets going. I kind of get back into Destiny. I'll probably raise that, but first day, pretty depressing.
I'm going with 0 out of 10. This is the worst I've felt about
Wow.
Destiny, and I don't I want to play Trials this weekend, but there's no way in hell I'm going to grind light level doing this stupid obelisk bullshit. So 0 out of 10. I have no reason to play it. I have no desire to do it. The only thing I want to do is play Trials, and there's no way in hell I'm going to be competitive unless I do that content. I'm just not going to do it. King.
Pre-trials as the cursor there. Pre-trials, this is like a 2 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
I did the first mission to unlock the bunker, and after that, I've just been grinding bounties on the moon to try and crank up my artifact level. Not excited to even. I'm not even motivated at all to do the new content on the PvE side. It's tough. I'd like to see a drastic change with it before this just becomes Season of Trials for me, and I play 2 days a week, which would be on the weekend, or sorry, 3 on Friday. So.
All right, very good. Well, enough about trash games, or at least currently trashy games. What do you have for us?
I told you Destiny's in its death.
Hey, I'll hit it really quick, and I think this is kind of the high point, or at least where I kind of realized, like, hey, this is a PvP season in Destiny. I'll play a little bit, but it's not my season. Just like it wasn't Gambit wasn't the season for some other people. So I kind of got back into Division recently. A lot of people, I checked it out initially, played through the campaign, kind of stopped off because Destiny picked up. Destiny is honestly my main game. And hey, I went in, I checked out Update 7 before Warlords of New York, the new campaign came out. Was having a lot of fun. Game felt really good. I like looter shooters. It scratches that itch. And, last week or so, Warlords of New York dropped. It hits a nostalgia point for me. I really enjoyed Division 1. I played a lot of Division 1. And you get to hunt down kind of the main bad guy from Division 1, Aaron Keener, which I thought was weird that they didn't kind of continue that storyline in Division 2. But they've done it. Huge open world, Manhattan. This, in a weird way, I almost think this was supposed to be part of Division 1.
That's exactly what it looks
like
like to be.
Just the part of New York, like one area over. But Manhattan's awesome. It's hit by a hurricane, so it's not just the post-Christmas. So I think they did something different with the same or similar play space. Factions are returning, Rikers and Cleaners, if you remember those from Division 1. There's some really cool exotics, kind of nostalgia exotics. There's a gun called the Bullet King. If you remember Bullet King, he was the boss that you would farm outside of Safe House. Yeah, it would drop really good loot. They have an exotic Bullet King. It's an LMG that never runs out of ammo. So I'm grinding to try to get that. I want to say 14, 15 total missions. So like 8 main missions or 8 side missions, 5 main missions. They raised the power cap to 40. So it gives you a reason to kind of grind up on power as you play through that storyline. They brought back a couple of other. Fei Lao was a character from Division 1. They brought her back, and then they brought back the guy from New York, Paul Rhodes. So yeah, characters that enjoy, you remember from Division 1. Most importantly, though, content's great from a release standpoint. Phenomenal content. I kind of look at this as Taken King for the Division. Gear 2.0, and the new gear system is freaking awesome. It solves the biggest problem that I had with the Division, which was I got all this stuff. What's good? And then I have to go on Reddit and look through spreadsheets and to figure out are these knee pads or are these 30 knee pads I have any good? And they put stat bars right on the gear, so you can see. I know right away. Is this max roll? And they simplified some of the systems. I'm kind of iffy on that. I like the system to be a little bit more complex. But
wait, did you say they show the max roll on the gear?
Yeah, it shows min max on the gear.
That's sick. That's exactly like Diablo.
It's exactly what it should. Yeah, that's it's funny you mentioned that. That was the thing that I thought. Wow, this has a Diablo feel to it. At least the loot does. So yeah, even tiered worlds, which they've done that for a while, similar to Diablo. But Gear 2.0, that's a huge one, and they really leaned into the build. So you have defense builds, your tank, offense builds, and then your skill builds. And you really need to specialize in one of those to do well. But I don't know if you guys saw it. I think you have played a little bit of it. Adam, you've been into it. I don't know what your thoughts on it are.
I love it, man. I think it's great. You know, I was playing it for a while. We got back into it before the new DLC, the New York DLC, and it was, you know, it was still good, but you still had that problem with the gear, you know. And then you had already gotten into New York before I was getting up there because I just wanted to level first, and it was looking like. Because the gear looks completely different to you than it does to me while I'm playing. I'm still using old gear in that old system, and you're using the stuff like, oh, what level are you? I'm like, dude, there's no level in this crap.
Yeah.
It's 400. What do you want me to say?
Wait, look on the top right.
There's nothing on the top right. So I was kind of losing it. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. But once you get that download, that DLC, I mean, it's reinvented the game. I think it's great. Like, the content's fantastic. It looks good, and I've said this from the beginning about Division 2. It is the best sounding game I've ever played. It sounds
very accurate.
so good. You can hear a can drop down the street.
Yep.
Like you're actually in the street in an abandoned street.
You shoot a gun, you hear it echo down the street. So
yes.
cool.
It's amazing. So yeah, I'm back in the Division 2 hard. Thank you, Destiny, for fucking up.
Hey, this is the game gods helping out. You know, it's time to take a break on Destiny, get in Division for a little while, and Destiny will come back. And
yeah.
Well, and it's funny too because I am very adamantly against cover-based shooters. It's the whole reason I hated Gears of War. Thought it was shit. It's the whole reason I don't like any of the Mass Effects. I hate the cover-based shooter games.
Yeah.
And then Division 2 came out for $3, and I said, I gotta have it, or $6, whatever, however much it was.
$3.
$3, yeah. I fucking love this game. This game is so much fun. But the reason I like it is because a mouse keyboard feels amazing with it. Like having precision shooting, like just always hitting headshots every single time in the Division, just feels so good with the mouse and keyboard. And I'm very much looking forward to finally finishing the main Division 2 story and getting into the new expansion with you guys. I'm definitely going to be getting into it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Everything that you have said. Yeah, everything that you have said has just been like, I'm so down to get this. I definitely want to.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's a really good time. What else you got for us, Robot?
That's it.
Okay. I know you had a gripe about the bullet sponginess of it now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't want to be super negative, but might as well be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did some changes to difficulty, and I think the game kind of needed that. At the end of 7, you could pretty much just run through challenging level content, but there's some problems with that. So they raised the health bars of some of the enemies. They raised the DPS output of some of the enemies. And the game does a really cool thing where it scales in groups. So you can play the Division by yourself. You can very easily go in and play a mission by yourself. But then you can go in with a group of 4, and the game scales according to the number of people that are in there. And there's really some limitations on server and server side, and just what some of the consoles can do is they can't just put more enemies on the screen. That would be, you'd think, okay, I'm scaling up more people, just put more enemies out.
Well, your frames are dropping.
But they can't really, they can kind of do it. It might get crowded too. So they scale the health. So they'll add a few extra enemies, but they'll make, especially named and yellow bar enemies, a little bit more bullet spongy. They overdid it, frankly. And Division's bad when you empty 4 LMG 100 bullet clips into something and it just stares at you. That doesn't feel good. And I watched the state of the game today, and they said they're fully aware of it. They kind of dialed it in some recent play tests, and they're going to send out a patch to address it.
Awesome. They're really good about turning games around fast.
Super last point, and I contrast against Destiny. Their state of the game YouTube video that I watched, and they do Twitch streams on this too, their 111th state of the game. They do these things almost every week, where the developers get on Twitch, answer questions in chat, talk about the game with the people who are playing the game. They are A+ at building community and communicating with the players that they have.
Yeah.
That really, when I saw 110, Division hasn't been around that long, but geez, when's the last time you did a podcast? Not a podcast, but a
Twitch stream to answer questions.
Twitch stream or anything where they interacted and talked with the fans.
Been a while.
It has been a while.
But they are listening.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
We see you.
They're listening.
And what else you have for us, Robot? Anything else tonight?
No, that's it. Cool. Thanks for reminding me, though.
I played a little bit of Modern Warfare Warframe tonight. Got in
Warzone.
Sorry, Warzone.
God, I want to play it. That's so bad.
Destiny and Warframe coming back up.
Oh.
But yeah, Warzone. I liked it, man. I liked it a lot. I know that people are having a lot of trouble getting on the servers yesterday. Some problems on PC, especially. I played on PC. Frame rates were fantastic. Now this is after the NVIDIA driver update that came out yesterday. Frame rates are fantastic. I got right into a game. There's the cool, once you go down, there's a 1v1 in the bathroom stall area, the showers area of the prison. Just pistols only. Seeing what you can do. I won the hell out of that.
It's actually always a random weapon.
Is it? That's cool.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it was super fun, man. It plays like Call of Duty. It has that same sort of fast pace. I mean, the time to kill seems perfect for me. More like, a little longer than Battlefield 5 time to kill, but you're moving a lot faster and, you're sprinting a lot better. Jump through windows, kind of PUBG style. And, it's good, man. I really liked it a lot. I think it's going to be a big one. You're still going to have to fight with Apex with their sci-fi sort of feel to that game. You don't have supers or anything like that, but it was fun. It's a lot of fun. You got kill streaks that you can pick up. Everything comes from like supply crates, all your stuff that you find. Some stuff's just randomly stuck around, but not a lot of cool stuff. So anything that's nice. You can get these drops, kind of like the supply crates in PUBG. They'll come in that have loadouts already built into them with like a gold weapon in there. It's kind of amber colored, but yeah.
Those loadouts are your personal loadouts carried over from multiplayer.
Oh,
so you can actually set those up to be different.
That is cool.
Interesting.
And carry them over from multiplayer. It's actually the only way in the game to get perks.
Okay.
So if you have to go to a loadout, and you set up all your classes, you're like, all right, I'm gonna snipe this time, and you've got your Bear 50 cal and your fucking whatever DLR on there
sick.
With Ghost and Silence or whatever the fuck those perks are. It almost makes me want to buy Modern Warfare, but I'm adamantly against the game, so I won't do it.
I guess that's how they're getting people to actually pay for the game.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's a very, very unique battle royale, I feel like.
Yeah, it played really well. I mean, I didn't have any dropouts, nothing like that. It was very smooth. Character movement across screen was great, and the people I was firing at, I did pretty well. I think I came in 13th in my first game. It was
now, did you only play the BR, or did you play? I think it's called Payload.
No, I didn't play that one. I did play just the BR, where I had you can get contracts and go to different areas, stay there for a while to complete those, get money. There's a store on site, you can run to and get different sort of kill streaks and stuff.
Yeah, UAV. You can buy UAV kill streak.
Yeah.
To show players on the map.
Yep.
That's so OP.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It's fun. It has a fun factor that you don't get from PUBG for sure.
Right.
And to me, you rarely get from Apex. Just because it's so random. You've got loadouts basically for Apex. You know what character you're going to pick and how you're going to play it, that sort of thing. And it's fun that way. But with this one, with the kill streaks you can get, depending on how much money you get, you can do a lot of fun stuff and just make the games have a lot of variety. So I think they've got a hit.
From what I know about the other mode, the BR, the payload mode, there's unlimited respawns.
Okay.
So you drop in and you have to. It's still about killing each other.
Yeah.
But it's not about who's the last one alive. It's about farming people to steal their money and controlling the areas where you bank the money.
Oh,
And it's like a time. It's like kind of like a big multiplayer map basically, and it's whoever at the end of this time limit has the most money racked up in the bank.
Huh, interesting.
So it seems like kind of like a VR, which I didn't think was honestly possible.
Yeah, I think they're gonna hit with it. We'll see. We'll see if
It was it was just a matter of time before they figured this out.
Yeah, right.
Really.
It's all been
I
there.
mean, we've been saying, how long have we been saying that all it's going to take one good AAA VR to really
at least
hit?
3 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's been how long now? It's like 3 years. But all it's going to take is for that one.
Well, think about development
to really
cycle, though.
stick.
Yeah,
Realistically,
True.
so that timing kind of works out.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, Fallout 76 couldn't get it happen. Couldn't get it to happen.
Yeah.
Nobody played that. All right, great job tonight, gents. We're going to wrap it up here. Where can we find you in the real world, Old Dirty Robot?
Old Dirty Robot on Twitter if you want to talk to me.
Excellent, excellent. How about you, KingDawes?
Keep it simple.
You can find me on Steam, Twitter, everything under KingDawes1.
Excellent. Solid Scorpion.
Twitter, Twitch, all of it. That's SolidScorpionZ.
You can find me in all those same places. Gamertag is Adam212, and that's my handle. Great job, everyone. Thank you for watching and listening to MetaGame. This concludes our cast. Check us out in how many weeks? We're kind of going on the fly here. Whenever it works out for us. How about that? Whenever there's a lot of content and whenever it works out for us in our schedules, because things are
Mark
kind of
on your
crazy.
calendar.
Yeah,
Follow us on Twitter. You'll find out.
there you go. Just follow us
That's
on
the
Twitter.
best way to do it.
Yep. Indeed. All right. So check us out then for the next episode of MetaGame. Until then, remember, light that burns twice as bright burns half as long, and you have burned so very, very brightly, Roy. Good night, everyone.